Welcome back, our little Hellhounds, to Hellhounds Bedtime Stories. We're your host, Cerberus, also known as Cerberus. Cerberus! And Cerberus. And today, we are actually going to be reading another story. As per usual, we have selected a very famous author for our reading today. That's right. This author is named Hans Christian Andersen, if you can believe that. Yeah, he has a lot of books underneath his little, talent there. But one of the books that we're going to be reading today is called The Little Match Girl. And we decided to read The Little Match Girl because of the holiday season that's right around the corner. That's right. December is very known for this, what was his name? Saint Nick. But I think you're trying to think of Krampus, aren't you? No, that's right, Saint Nick. And honestly, I haven't seen Krampus around in a long time. I gotta figure out what happened to him. I wouldn't doubt that he's still making the rounds with Santa, because there has to be some balance between good and bad. And he might be just doing the very bad kids. Yeah, but luckily we've been a very good boy this year, so I'm sure we're going to get some more goodies like we usually do. Yeah, because this is the season of getting. Actually, it's the season of giving. What's the point? Now, let's just get to the book, and we'll discuss this at a later date between the three of us. Yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, brother. You got this one today. Very well. So today we're going to be reading The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen. It was so terribly cold. It was snowing and darkness was falling. It was also the last evening of the year, New Year's Eve. In this cold and in this darkness, a small, poor girl walked on the street with a bare head and naked feet. Well, she certainly had worn slippers when she left home, but what help was that? They were very large slippers. Her mother had last used them. That's how large they were, and the little one lost them hurrying across the street, when two carriages went past so terribly fast. One slipper she couldn't find, and the other one a boy ran away with. He said he could use it as a crib when he had children of his own. There walked the little girl, on naked small feet that were red and blue from the cold. In an old apron she carried a heap of matchsticks, and one bundle she walked with in her hand. No one had bought anything from her the whole day. No one had given her a coin. Hungry and freezing, she walked and looked so downtrodden, the poor little thing. The snowflakes fell in her long yellow hair, curling so beautifully around her neck. But she certainly wasn't thinking of that kind of frippery. Lights were shining from all the windows and in the street. It smelled wonderfully of roast goose. It was New Year's Eve. Yes, she thought of that. In a nook between two houses, one of them stuck into the street a little further than the other. She sat down and curled up. The little legs pulled up underneath her, but she froze even more, and she didn't dare go home. She hadn't sold any matchsticks, not had a single coin. Her father would beat her, and it was also cold at home. They only had a roof over them, and there the wind whistled through, even though there was straw and cloth stuffed into the largest cracks. Her small hands were nearly dead with cold. Oh, a small matchstick would feel so good, if only she dared pull one from the bundle, strike it against the wall, and warm her fingers. She drew one out, wrist. How it spurted, how it burnt. It was warm, bright flame, like a small candle.
When she held her hand around it, it was a strange light. It seemed to the little girl as if she sat in front of a large iron stove with polished brass balls and a brass drum. The fire burnt so blessedly, it warmed her so well. No, what was that? The little one was already stretching out her feet to also warm them. When the flame went out, the iron stove disappeared. She sat with a small stub of the burnt matchstick in her hand. A new one was struck. It burned, it shone, and where the light fell on the wall, it became see through, like a veil. She saw straight into the living room where the table was set with a bright white tablecloth, with beautiful porcelain, and the roast goose steamed wonderfully, filled with prunes and apples. And what was even more glorious, the goose jumped off the serving platter, waddled over the floor, with a fork and knife in its back. It came right over to the poor girl. Then the matchstick went out, and there was only the thick, cold wall to be seen. Then she was sat under the most wonderful Christmas tree. It was even bigger and with more decorations than the one she had seen through the glass door of the rich merchant this Christmas. 1,000 candles burned on the green boughs, and colorful pictures, like those decorating the shop windows, looked down upon her. The little one stretched both hands upwards. Then the matchstick went out. The many Christmas lights went higher and higher. She saw they were now the bright stars. One of them fell and made a long streak of fire in the sky.
Someone is dying now,
Said the little one, because her grandmother, who was the only one who had been good to her, but was now dead, had said, "When a star falls, a soul rises up to be with God." She struck again against the wall with a matchstick. It glowed brightly, and in the glow stood the old grandmother, so clear, so shining, so mild and blessed.
Grandmother.
Shouted the little one.
Oh, take me with you. I know you are gone when the matchstick goes out. Gone like the warm iron stove and the wonderful roast goose and the big blessed Christmas tree.
And she struck, in haste, the remainder of the matchsticks in the bundle. She wanted to hold on to her grandmother. And the matchsticks burned with such brightness that it was clearer than daylight. Grandmother had never been so beautiful, so big. She lifted the little girl up onto her arm, and they flew in the brightness and joy, so high, and there was no cold, no hunger, no fear. They were with God. But in the nook by the house, in the cold morning hour, sat the little girl with red cheeks, with a smile around her mouth, dead frozen to death, the last evening of the old year. New Year's morning dawned over the small corpse, sitting with the matchsticks, whereof a bundle was nearly burnt. She will have wanted to warm herself, they said. No one knew what beautiful things she had seen, in what glory she had walked with old grandmother into New Year's happiness. the This was The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen, and I honestly don't know what you guys feel, but I'm slightly off put by it. Yeah, I'm kind of. I don't know how I feel, honestly.
Yeah, I got the feeling there's supposed to be a moral or something behind it.
I guess so. It. I was expecting something totally different. Yeah, I was expecting something more with, like, angels or some kind of Holy Ghost or something. Uh, that was out of left field.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't know what to say with it. But there's gotta be some moral or something.
Well, I guess we can say, um, help those that need helping. Maybe. Does that sound right? Yeah, I got a feeling like it was something like that. Like, help those that need help.
And I'm guessing this is also applies to like not just this specific season, but all the seasons, really. You know, year round.
Yeah, that's true. Anyhow, let me let us know how you guys how our little hellhounds
Yeah, our little hellhounds. How did you like this story? Was that unexpected?
yeah, did you ever read this book before? If so, let us know down in the comment section. I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, anyway, thank you, our little hellhounds, for tuning in today here on Hellhounds Bedtime Stories. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, I wish, well, we wish our little hellhounds a pleasant dream. Good night.